What's going on, guys? It's your boy Random Guy Kev, and this is Thoughts of a Random Guy. We talk about many things dealing with love, dating, and relationships, adulting, life's ups and downs, and the ever-evolving world of just being a human. Don't forget to check me out on all your favorite social media platforms at Random Guy Kev and my website at randomguykev.com. Today's topic is accepting my accomplishments, and my co-host for this episode is
KK, Keke, Curleen, depending on your nationality, you might have a different name for me. But Patty Mayonnaise on social media. Check me out.
Heard you. Thank you for popping up on this episode.
I do what I can for the people.
So let's get into our topic of accepting my accomplishment. And what does accepting my accomplishments mean? It means essentially things that you go through in life that, do you accept them? Like, for me personally, accepting my accomplishments was always me waiting for the next step. So like, I closed on my house and it was like, okay, cool. What's the next step? What's after this? It's like, okay, I got my degree. Now what? What's next? It's never been like, let me sit down, take a moment, and accept that I got here.
Yeah.
And how I got here, and accepting the people around me that supported me to this next level of my accomplishment. And I feel like we sometimes overlook our accomplishments, big or small, and we don't take a moment to be like, I got this. Damn, I really did this. It's always, all right, what's next? What's the next step in life to, I can't stop here. What's the next step? Instead of taking a moment to accept that. What are your thoughts on that?
I think I don't want to say the problem, but I think what the issue or the situation that arises, especially for people like you and I who are like, okay, what is an accomplishment to someone else might not necessarily be an accomplishment for you. You know what I'm saying? Like, for example, we both closed on houses, right? I remember closing on my house and like, okay, cool, I did it, great. Now I need to do this, this, and this. You know what I'm saying? I think that for some people, the accolades that they achieve are different for someone else. For someone, it might be like, oh, you got a house, you're only this age and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, no, I have more bills. And now I need to get a better job. Like, It's all about perspective and your perception on things. I do know that for a fact, though, when I was growing up, my first job ever, like my real job at least, out of college was an enterprise. And I remember specifically one of my managers telling me, like, you don't take the time to enjoy when you've hit a milestone. And I'm like, I don't know if it's the sales in me that's always been like, okay, well, you're only as good as your most latest thing. So it's like, okay, yeah, 1 month I did phenomenal. So Blase Blah Cars had a phenomenal check. But the next month I didn't do as good. So I'm like, forget the good month. I'm focused on like, okay, I had an okay month or a not so good month. How can I bounce back from this? I think I've always been in that, like, there's something else to go after. I'm not at the, oh, I've arrived stage. I can chill stage. Even now, I literally, before we got on this, I was talking to my sister and I wanted to get her a job. Mind you, the job is paying significantly more than what she's making now. And so it would be like a good jump for her. She's still super young and blah, 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 blah. And she was like asking all these questions. And I just remember like kind of getting frustrated because I'm like, girl, it's a no-brainer. It's making more than what you make now. But she was like, oh, but I kind of like my job. And I'm like, you like making less money? And I had to like really talk to another sister about it because I'm like, it bothered me that she wasn't maybe, and I don't want to say as ambitious as I am, but her thought process wasn't the same as I. And even just now talking to you, I'm like, maybe that's a good thing. Because I know I struggle with not patting myself on the back. I struggle with saying, you've done good, here, let's enjoy this. I'm very much so like, you've done good, but it can be better. You got a good job, but you want more. Like, this is not the ultimate. A lot of times, especially as young people, especially in this generation, we want to get to the end. Like, I want to reach these are my goals and this is where I want to be until I can relax, instead of saying I'm on my way there and I can still treat myself on the way, Yeah, so it's not that go ahead.
Even though she's where she's at and you feel like she should, go somewhere and get better, a lot of times that money isn't always like
the motivating factor.
yeah, it's not the motivating factor. Like a lot of people just want to be happy with with where they're at. And it's like for me, you know me, I was consulting for a good minute. And it's like, you guys, oh, hey, Kev, what you doing? You know, I'm switching jobs. Fuck this place.
Yo,
I don't care.
you literally just say
like,
that every day. I didn't know what.
Yeah, like I don't give a fuck. Fuck this place. But I've been at this job for about 4 or 5 years now, and I love this place. And because they provide me the tools to elevate my education and my career. Granted, I still have the same title, but I'm still every year I still get bonuses. Every year I get a pay raise. Every year I'm doing training, some type of training to add to my resume, and it's like, all right, my shit's beefy. So it's like one of those things where I'm enjoying where I'm at. I could be making more money if I go somewhere else, and I've put out some fillers, but I feel like I would be stuck starting over. I don't mind starting over, but it's like I'm good where I'm at. My place, they don't. I don't go into their office for what. I'm comfortable. They let me do whatever I want. I work on whatever projects I want. I literally can travel, go on vacation, and work while I'm there, not use any of my PTO, even though I should use my PTO, but why? And like these other jobs, they're requiring people to come back into the office and things like that. But I feel like my job, it's like even when I'm doing some of these trainings and stuff and I complete it, I get like a shout out. Like, yo, Kev, great completing that training and putting on the training for a bunch of other staff. And that's an accomplishment there. Like being able to train your colleagues on things that you learned from a conference you went to or something.
I think my biggest issue, and again, like I feel like as we're talking about it, I'm almost like talking through it. I know that one of my biggest flaws is I definitely compare, right? Like people in my age gap, people in my field, what are they doing? How much are they making? What are their companies like? And sometimes from that situation, a spot that I was previously like okay at, this is an upgrade from what I used to do, is now no longer good enough. You know what I'm saying? And maybe it's a bad thing, but also a good thing, because like in this day and age, and I tell people all the time, I refuse to settle for somewhere that I don't feel like deserves me or is not giving me what I deserve. Like I'm quick to be like, oh, okay, peace out then. Bye. Like I'll find somewhere else to work, because I don't ever want to be in a situation where I feel like, okay, I enjoy my job, but I don't enjoy who I work for. I think who you work for, enjoying your employer, being grateful for your employer is very big for me. And so it's like, okay, from my other job, I moved to this job and the pay was very similar. I feel like I have a lot more autonomy here. This company is a lot more renowned, a lot more respectable. So I was cool. I was like, oh, I like it. The people that I worked for were very high up. I'm like, these people can be my mentors to get me to my next level. Everything was great. I've been here for almost 6 months now, and I'm like, yeah, no, I don't think you guys deserve me. And it's not that I'm pressed to leave, but now I'm like, okay, well, let's talk about what will be the next step for me. I had my higher up tell me, because I had applied for like a director spot, and they were like, oh, we don't think you're ready. We think that if we put you in this position, you're going to fail. When I tell you, I was immediately turned off, because I'm like, okay, so all I'm hearing is you don't believe in me. You're not in a position to train me for the job, and you rather just go find someone else. I was like, okay, no problem leaving. You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't like a month ago, I was happy here. But now I feel like I've seen another side. And I think things like that, and that's just a small example, but things like that alter my perception of what's an accomplishment now. An accomplishment for me, for some reason, and again, I don't know if this is good or bad, only lasts so long. I can only dwell on something for so long. And maybe that's my ambition. Maybe that's me like, okay, I'm ready for what's next. I'm ready for what's next. But like, I feel like there is a point where I'll be like, I'm good here. Like I've even, because they say write it down, make it plain. I've written down like, okay, this is the number that I would say like I can retire at this number. And it's not even buku bucks. I'm not saying $250,000 or anything like that. I'm saying like off of this, I would be happy. If I made extra money, great. But if I didn't, I would still be okay. I wouldn't be like, oh, I got to search for another job. And I think that's accomplishments for me are more long-term than it is the instant gratification thing.
I agree with you on that. I feel like again, when it comes to happiness at your job, they have to believe in you. They have to be able to, push you forward and, accept your accomplishments at the end of the day. And like,
Right.
for me, it's like my job, like my manager's like, I told my manager, like, my end goal is to be some type of manager director. And his first thing is, how can I help you get there? Not like you can't get there. You'll never get there. No, his thing was, how can I help you get there? And my director's on the same wave. He's like, okay, what I know as a director, I know a little bit of everybody's role. Maybe start with that.
Yeah.
I know what everybody's doing in my department. Start learning everybody's little thing. At least the acronyms, things of that nature. So you just have your foot in the door and have a better understanding when you do try to push up to this role, if this is the role that you want.
Yeah.
So, and then, other people have told me, hey, if you want to get up to this level, you may have to leave your department, go to this role, get this management role in this other department, learn that role, and then another role may open up back in your department, and you just go right back over there. Mm-hmm. So it's like, I have the people around me to that are giving me the tools to reach my goal and things that I want to accomplish. And for if they weren't doing that, I would have left this place a long time ago.
Right. You want to know what's crazy though? Do you apply the same mindset to relationships, like your accomplishments in relationships?
Yes, because I feel like when it comes to a relationship, it's all about we. Mm-hmm. We're a team at the end of the day, and what you accomplish, I consider that my accomplishment as well. And what I accomplish, I share with you, and that's our accomplishment together. And if we get over this hurdle, boom, we just accomplished something. Like we just did this together. We set our mind to it, boom, we accomplished it. I celebrate those moments, and I feel like big or small, sometimes we don't celebrate those accomplishments together.
Yeah.
And I feel like we should, and I feel like that gives us kind of like, what's the word? Just like, I feel like it strengthens your bond in the relationship because you guys accomplished something.
Yeah. I think that I'm actually way more lenient when it comes to relationships, right? Like my job, once I see something I don't like, I'm like, well, this has been great. Yeah. Headed out the door. See you guys soon. With relationships and with like personal friendships, I think I'm way more like, how can we work through this? How can we make this work? And I don't know if it's because like when it comes to one-on-one relationships, it's like I feel this is something I've personally invested, like my time, my feelings, things that I've shared and things of that nature. Like even now with my boyfriend, if we have a spat or something like that, like, am I going to be tight? Are there going to be some like cold days? Yeah, like human, sure. But I am way more invested in saying like, I want this long term. And so how can we move on from this? How can we make this better? How can we get to the next step? You know what I'm saying? And when we get there, I be hyped. Like, yeah, we did that. Yeah. Like, we in this. Like, you know what I'm saying? Whereas work, I'm just like, okay, cool. Knock that off the bucket list. Yeah.
Fuck this shit, I'm out.
Yep, knock that off the checklist. Moving on. Oh, that's not knocked off. Oh, we can't get that nowhere time soon. Oh, no. I am so quick to put, and maybe I am in that relationships, I'm like that as well. I put a time frame on a lot of things. I am like, if there was a job to be a timekeeper, put me in. I have the resume for it. I have the experience. I am such a stickler for time, no matter what sector of my life I'm talking about. But I just know that with relationships and people, I can be a lot more lenient, a lot more forgiving, a lot more, let's cooperate, let's work together than when it's like business.
Yeah, let's reach this goal together, because at the end of the day, you guys are partners. You're trying to build something versus, your job where you're not really partners, but it's a place that you regularly go into to achieve a goal. But if they're not giving you the tools to achieve a goal or want you to achieve the goal, then it's like, yo, fuck this place, I'm out.
Facts.
Like, why am I here? Like, I have all these accolades under me. I should be continuing to move forward, but you guys are holding me back from reaching the next step.
Okay. So what about in life? Do you differentiate between big and small accomplishments?
I've you know, as of the past year and some change, I've recently just started accepting just like wins.
Okay.
Because I felt like, okay, I won this, but there's still more to do.
Right.
There's still more that I could be doing. Like I paid off my car note. That's a win. Like I started accepting that. Like, oh shit, I paid off my car note. It's lit in here. I don't owe people. I don't owe people money. Like, not everybody like that's. It's something you have to do, of course. But at the same time, it's like, all right, no extra money going that way. And this car is mine now. I own it. And you know, keep pushing forward. Like when I finished painting one of the walls or like getting furniture, it's like, damn, I'm finally putting this shit together. This should come together real good. I think that's an accomplishment to me.
It is, and maybe this is my biggest struggle. And I think social media plays a big part. Sometimes we feel like we are nowhere near where we want to be. And so it's hard to celebrate accomplishments when it feels like, well, I'm already behind the 8 ball. This is not where I wanted to be. Like at 21, you couldn't tell me I wasn't going to be married by 25.
I mean, but that's the thing. It's just like, that's why I don't do comparisons. Comparisons fuck you up. Comparisons, comparing yourself or your relationship or your job to other people, that fucks you up. And people do that all the time. Like, why are we comparing ourselves to other people whose life journey is completely different than us? They haven't had to go through what we've gone through to get to where we are now.
I agree with that, but okay, playing controversial advocate. Comparison, I also think is necessary, right? Because like, would you know what the dark was if we didn't have light? Would you know what good was if we didn't have bad? And so sometimes when you don't compare, sometimes people grow complacent. I think that's probably one of my worst fears, to be complacent. To be like in a position where it's like, oh no, I'm good. Like I don't need anything else. Like, and it's not, I'm okay being satisfied, but I would never say like, oh, if you do this, here's $10,000 and it's within your means. Okay, cool. I could use the $10,000 for something else. Now me saying like, no, I'm too lazy to do that. I don't want it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Especially at my young age. Maybe when I'm older, like I could care less. Like I'm good. I've lived my life. But being where I am now, comparing has also been maybe top 5 biggest motivators. Because I'm like, okay, you're at this age, this person's doing this, and not saying like I'm hating on them or I'm envious, but it's like you could be doing more, Keka. Like you could be doing more.
I agree with you on that. I agree with you on that. But my thing is, I'm my biggest competitor.
Yeah,
I look at myself every year and see what I'm doing and what I'm missing.
Okay.
I don't need to look at somebody else like, okay, great. My paycheck is still this. A year passes. Oh, my paycheck is still the same. I'm fucking up. I'm doing something wrong. I should. Through all my achievements that I've documented while I've been at work, I've completed this product. I've done this transition. I've done this. And what's my reward from that? I haven't. Did I get a pay raise? Did I get a bonus? Did I get a name change? I didn't get any of that. All right, I'm fucking up. Let me put this shit into motion.
Yeah. Let
me put this shit into motion and figure out like, okay, what's the next step from today? What's that point? Next year I should be $10,000 more, $5,000 more than what I'm making now. Maybe a different title change. Maybe I should have this extra skill set. A lot of times you have to draw that out for yourself. Fuck these other people, because you'll sit there, compare yourself to all these other people, not realizing that your life is good. Your life is good. Their life may be shit behind the scenes for them to get to where they're at. And it's like, I know enough people where I know a couple people kind of in the same industry as me that make a shit ton more money than me, but they have no fucking life. They literally have no life because they slave for their career. They don't have any hobbies. They go home, still have to work. When I was working at the law firm, I made bank there, but I had no life.
Yeah.
I would be in New York and be back, and then be back in New York. It's like I had no life. I hated leaving the office at like 6, 7 to come back home, and then I had to get, essentially be ready. And then my weekends would be, oh, I'm still kind of working. I still have to be ready. I still kind of have to be on call for these people that treat me like shit, like I'm a peasant. No. Yeah. I don't give a fuck how much money you pay me. I still need my work-life balance.
Facts.
Plus, I still got to be happy. If I'm not happy here, fuck this accomplishment of making this amount of money.
Yeah, no, but that's actually real life. And I didn't understand or at least appreciate work-life balance until COVID, bruh. I am one of those poor, hopeless people who have not had a work-from-home life, like, ever. And it wasn't, so I started off at Enterprise, and I was kind of working there at the beginning of COVID before I left and decided to go back to the healthcare field. But while I was at Enterprise, I remember this one employee, shout out to you, Scott, I know you'll never hear this, but he used to work all the time. This man had kids, a wife, and spent more time in the office for sure than he did anywhere else. And he used to make buku bucks. Like, I know for a fact he brought in sales more than $250,000 every year, for sure, right? And so I remember when I first got there, I was like, oh yeah, like I don't want to be like Scott because he's super weird, but I want to, be up there. I want to be a top income earner, blah, blah, blah. When I realized, because this is before I knew all that information, when I realized how much time he was putting into the office, I literally had a conversation with him one day. I'm like, aren't you like, and I'm single. I mean, single as far as taxes go. I have a boyfriend, y'all. But I don't have any kids or anything like that. And I was like, aren't you afraid you're like missing your children grow up? Your wife is by herself. Like things of that nature. That's not something I'm willing to compromise just to say I make more money. You know what I'm saying? He said in his head, it's like, okay, well, I'm here and I get to provide for my family. My wife doesn't have to work and all those things. I was like, yeah, but there's certain things that you can't get back. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like, in that moment, I was absolutely comparing, but it worked out because I was like, I know I don't want to be that. I know not for any amount of money would I want that lifestyle. And in sales, especially at Enterprise, you did not have your weekends. And I'm not talking about a little, oh, you come in on Saturday, work a little 4 hours. We were working 9 to 5s on Saturdays. Normal time would be like a 9 to 7 on the weekday. And so like, granted, I was drinking the Enterprise Kool-Aid, so I was like, this is great, I love it here. But
I love it here.
Yeah, I love it. But when I got a taste of COVID and like schedules shift a little bit, they had us doing different things before we got into the office so that we were still working. I was like, all my friends are home. And no one works the weekends like at all anymore. And don't even get me started on these stimulus checks that I'm not receiving because I'm still here. Like, and also I'm kind of envious of people who have unemployment. You know what I'm saying? Like, all those things put into perspective for me how important my time was and how much I was kind of undervaluing that time because I had nothing else to compare it to. Everyone around me was doing the same thing I was doing. And, we were cool. We had a good time. I loved my coworkers and all that stuff. So it was like, okay, cool. This is what normal people do. When COVID hit, I was like, oh, this is slavery? Oh, hold on.
Did you feel like any of that, you reached any like goals for yourself, any accomplishments? Nothing?
Absolutely, though, because of Enterprise, during the, like, when COVID just hit, so COVID hit, let's say 2020 in the beginning of the year, I bought my house October of 2020. And I'm always grateful. I definitely didn't leave on bad terms because I was like, without this money and without this job and the consistency I had put in, there was no way I was going to get the house. Because, when you look for a house, they go back to like when you were born. If she didn't know when she was born, what did she have? You know what I'm saying? And so I was able to purchase a house because of that job. It still to this day is my longest standing job, my most consistent, blah, 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 all that good stuff. So I'm absolutely always grateful for that opportunity. But I know that it was nothing that I could maintain long term, knowing what I knew about my time and how much I valued it at that point. You know what I'm saying? So as you grow up, as you adult, as you mature and all those things, the meaning of accomplishments, what you consider accomplishments, absolutely change. Because before I'm like, oh, I'm in sales. I can make money today, tomorrow. Like, And then every sale I knew was adding onto that paycheck. My paycheck was growing every day. But now I'm like, I just want something consistent. I don't mind making the same amount of money every week because I know it's going to come in. You know what I'm saying? Instead of saying like, oh, I did bad this month, so my paycheck not going to be as good as last. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that is an accomplishment. That consistency that I've given myself allowed me to get a dog. There was no way I could maintain having a dog while I was at Enterprise. My hours were crazy. Grant would be home by himself. I would be like upset when people who I had like, you know, oh yeah, we'll cover for you, we'll watch him, if they didn't do it to my standard idea of set. So like leaving that job, sales, and working 9 to 5 gave me more peace. And I appreciate that peace. But now I'm like, okay, I have peace, I have consistency. I need some other things to match up as well.
Yeah. Okay. So as we close out here, when you look at accomplishments, what does that look like for you again?
I think now accomplishments, again, like I write down what I want in the grand scheme of things. Anything that chips away at that goal, and I mean not just monetary, but like emotionally, socially, with my friends, with my family, spiritually, with Christ and my walk and that, all of those things that attribute to the final goal is an accomplishment. And I try my best to celebrate it. Like even something that like today, I didn't go to work because I wanted a mental health day. And I'm grateful to have a job that wasn't like, oh, well, that means you're going to miss out on a sale, or, oh, no, that's not possible. I literally text my manager in the morning like, hey, I'm not coming in today or tomorrow. And she was like, okay, cool. So like that's an accomplishment. I knew I would not have been able to do that at my last job, for sure.
No, I agree. And at the end of the day, it's like you being happy and you worrying about self before worrying about this other job. Because not a lot of people are afforded that.
Also, in a day where mental health is like, not that it super matters now more than before, but at least it's in the forefront. People are talking about it more. It's super important that we prioritize peace as an accomplishment. I had and I don't want to talk too much about it, but I had like a really super hard tenant. I have a multifamily home, so I have tenants. I had a super hard tenant that was giving me a very difficult time. And basically he left, he's not here anymore, but like he didn't pay his last month's rent, all that stuff. But when I tell you, people are like, oh, what are you gonna do about the money? I'm like, it doesn't matter, I have peace now. And I know I don't have the money to make up for it, and I'll figure that out at another time. But it was an accomplishment for him to be out and me to feel like, okay, I'm home and I have peace here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's awesome. That's an accomplishment right there.
Yeah, I was about to throw a party.
No, that's perfect right there. But now I want to thank you for taking the time out to hop on.
Of course.
And any last words, anywhere where people can find you again?
Yes, please find me, Patty Mayonnaise. Not please find me, I'm not begging. If you are interested, social media, Patty Mayonnaise. I'm not going to do TikTok. Please don't make me do that. And also, just like final thoughts, please celebrate your accomplishments and have people around you that when you don't celebrate your accomplishments, they push you to do so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. That's solid. That's solid. But that is it for this episode, guys. You guys can find me on all social media platforms at RandomGuyKev and my website at randomguykev.com. Don't forget to check in, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.